That is, in doing so, they somehow help us, perhaps, to gather money faster and move out. Well, we get out of this situation by trying to find a quiet moment, catching a moment when nobody is home. Well, we have to do it this way only.
I generally, when I moved, I wouldn't leave my room. I waited until everyone left. I feel like when I'm about to cook something, the whole world is watching me. Since we're young, it means parties, revelry, drinking.
How is your shared living organized?
When Katya moved in, I separated with Katya, we became separate. That is, we agree, for example, on Wednesday, me and Katya do laundry. So it's forbidden for everyone at that moment. Well, not forbidden, but we sort of agree, yes. That is, we took upon ourselves, managed to take the internet bill, and the utility bills are always paid by the father at home. It turns out that we offered the parents that we would pay, but they kind of forbade us to do so. That is, in doing so, they somehow help us, perhaps, to gather money faster and leave to our own apartment or some housing. For groceries, we are independent. We buy for ourselves. Like if someone takes something that belongs to someone else, there won't be a big fight. There hasn't been, at least. Katya and I can buy something for everyone. Well, that means if you buy sushi, you buy for 8 people. That is, for example, well, parents can also buy something for everyone. If we want to have a barbecue, everyone buys 2. Sometimes we can also trick grandma. Well, to celebrate something. She always supports any activity with pleasure. And we just do, yes.
Well, of course, Mom cooks more, of course.
Cleaning. Well, more often, yes. We clean both in the whole apartment and in our room, and we often clean the kitchen. We give our parents a little bit of money for the utility bills every month.
It turns out we give about half because we can't live for free.
That's it. And in general, we always buy groceries for ourselves. Sometimes Mom cooks using our groceries.
We have a system of interchangeability, meaning we buy something, Mom buys something. If Mom lacks something, we give it. If we lack something, we ask Mom. First, we live in a house. We live on the 2nd floor, and the parents live on the 1st. And so, in some aspects, it somewhat eases some everyday life, because we are responsible, for example, for cleaning the 2nd floor. Regarding food, for now, mostly always Andre's mom cooks, for which we are very grateful. And I still feel very awkward about it.
The payment of utility bills, it's entirely on the parents.
Regarding groceries, parents buy it, but when we specifically want to cook something for ourselves or need something extra, then of course, we buy it ourselves.
The question isn't even about having something for ourselves. Everything is shared, meaning there's absolutely no division between what's the parents and what's ours.
Do parents interfere with your intimate life?
Of course, you have to restrain yourself, not show all the passion, emotions. Yes, but it doesn't interfere. We have rooms, the walls are good, meaning nothing is heard, and everyone who wants to can do it, and it's okay.
The most awkward part of living together is the intimate life, because, again, the walls are thin, even if the doors are closed. Yes, this is probably the biggest problem when living with parents. You can't really be alone.
Well, we deal with this situation by trying to quietly find a moment when no one is home. Well, we have to do it this way, because you don't want to get caught in such a moment. Well, before entering a room, parents always knock, so far, there haven't been any awkward situations.
Darn, you understand. This is really solved by us living on the 2nd floor. Nothing is heard there.
Just also, well, the parents' bedroom is a bit, let's say, in such a part. There's no 2nd floor above the parents' bedroom, meaning it's a bit separate. Therefore, well, let's say, it's practically impossible to hear anything. There's no awkwardness. Well, honestly, what's natural isn't indecent. So even if something was heard, they were young once too.
What are the cons of living with parents?
Someone is always at home, the main downside of living with parents. Even, maybe, if not the parents, then the grandparents. Well, it's clear, they are retired, and they are always at home. I generally, when I moved, I wouldn't leave my room. I waited until everyone left. I couldn't have coffee, make myself food, because I was very shy. I even went to the toilet only when no one was there. Even now, I feel somewhat restrained. And I try not to go out unnecessarily until my boyfriend is home. Before, I literally walked on tiptoes so that to be precise, so that no one heard me at all. It was very...
And I had to work. And I would come home in the evening. And my parents would ask, "Did Katya even leave her room? Is she eating anything?" I knew she was eating because she would text me when she did so. That is, she knew the time when the kitchen would likely be empty. And she would go down quietly, quietly, like a mouse, and then back. And my parents thought she never came out, that I wasn't feeding her, that I was keeping her captive, so to speak. Downsides of living with parents? Well, probably that you can't run around naked, can't yell, can't sing loudly. Your freedom of action is limited.
Yes, you can't exit the shower without a towel or some clothing, a robe. In the bathroom again, you can't sit, think, scroll through your phone. Also, in the evening, if you turn on a movie, you can't watch it, can't listen to it loudly. The same goes for music.
Yes, another downside of living with parents is that sometimes, let's say, you put some clothes somewhere, someone takes it off the radiator in the bathroom, puts it away, and then you go looking for it, wondering where it went.
For me, perhaps a small downside is that when I was very much at home, I loved listening to music very loud. Without headphones, exactly on speakers. I can't do this now because someone is always at home.
It's not even a downside, but just a fact of living together with parents, that sometimes, of course, you just want to stay alone. Not just on the floor, but in the entire place, so to speak.
Have you told yourself you won't live with parents?
Yes, my mom used to tell me, never live with me. Maybe that influenced my decision to move in with Kolya, because my mom is for living separately, not with parents. But we didn't have the finances to move out, but Kolya's parents offered us this option, so I agreed. For me, it was like this. I had this experience where my parents lived with my dad's parents. Well, it's not that I told myself, no, I won't do it. But I wanted to avoid some situations. And I thought that I might face similar situations. So I had some doubts about living together or not. Well, that is, and there were some fears about it. Of course, I think all couples say this. Renting a place is always considered. But then, when you calculate the finances, you realize that it's better to save that money and later buy something for yourself.
Can you have guests over and come home late?
Honestly, we can freely invite guests over, but we usually don't do it because it's awkward to drink, party, and have fun in front of the parents.
And our friends are mostly married couples who have their own apartments. So we often go to their places for parties. Yes. And we often stay over at their places too. Yes.
We can freely come home at 3 in the morning, or not come home to sleep at all. Well, if we go out, we might tell our parents in the evening, we're going to friends. That's it. So we have no restrictions in this regard.
Yes, of course, we can invite friends, guests over. It doesn't cause any problems. Just maybe give a heads up.
The parents, on the contrary, are even happier if we don't go out to the city. But let's say, stay at home and some friends come over to us. And accordingly, we don't bother the parents because we are on the second floor. As for what time to come? Well, if it's a pre-arranged event, that is, well, let's say, for example, a get-together with friends or a corporate event, and I warn that I'll be late, for instance, alone. Or, accordingly, Natasha will also warn that she'll be late. Well, it won't cause any questions.
Yes, it won't raise questions, but Mom won't sleep until the end. She will wait for us.
Why haven't you moved out from your parents' house yet?
Well, the main reason, yes, is the financial aspect. That's why we don't move out from our parents. When we wanted to move out, and we started looking for apartments, meaning our finances allowed it. But in the end, we didn't find anything suitable in the city. All the options we looked at either rejected us or were very poor, so to speak.
No, we found one apartment. Yes, but we were denied because we're not married, we don't have children, and we're young. Since we're young, it means parties, revelry, drinking, all that. And probably people are afraid of that, those who rent out apartments.
At this stage, our relationship with the parents has become so friendly and close, exactly the four of us. We enjoy spending time together, engaging in common activities, and in general, we feel comfortable with them. So we're not in a hurry to move out. Well, I, for one, definitely am not in a hurry to move out yet, although the possibility exists.
The main reason why we don't move out is that we are saving. Rather, we want to save enough money to move into our own apartment.
That is, we probably don't want to rent a place and prefer to save up for our own place sooner, in which our parents help us by not charging us for utilities and living expenses.
Do you think your parents want you to move out?
I think that no, we are too beneficial for them to probably kick us out. And we, I think, do not cause them any discomfort. On the contrary, it's only more fun for them. And if we leave, they will have an empty house. My sister, for example, also hopes, perhaps most likely, will bail someday. So they would be left, roughly speaking, alone in a big house. Maybe, deep down, they do want us to move out, of course.
Well, I don't agree with you there after all.
No, probably my parents. They don't want me to move out. Because I can always help with something, do something somewhere.
Because there's help. After all, Mom can't do many things anymore. That is, she can't carry heavy bags from the store, or drive someone to visit, pick them up, take them there, bring them back. So those little things. And we also have a dog that needs to be walked. I'm sure they don't want us to move out, especially Mom. Because she loves it when, first of all, there's someone else at home besides her and Dad. And, well, I don't know, probably loves us very much.
Mom dreams of us staying for life.
What will you do first when you move to your own place?
To listen to loud music, some Rammstein. That's my dream right now, so that no one says anything to me. I will constantly cook when we move out from our parents, because I feel like when I'm about to cook something, the whole world is watching me. I'm always afraid, shy. I always feel totally uncomfortable, very much so. I would probably clean the whole apartment if we moved to a new one. Everything in its place. That is, I love cleaning, organizing everything so there's nothing extra. That is, probably, that's what I would do first. Well, and then, yes, you can lie in the bath, sit in the toilet.